All-Star Fruit Racing is a kart racer on the Nintendo Switch. It has to be incredibly hard to make a kart racing game on a Nintendo console, competing against the titans of the genre, like Mario Kart 8, Crash Team Racing, and Garfield Kart. Because Mario Kart 8 has been around for 6 years now, as good as it is, I'm ready for some new ideas in the world of racing. In most kart racing games, there's item pickups that you drive through, and they might give you a speed boost or something you can shoot at your opponents to slow them down. This game does items a little differently. You pick up these little pieces of fruit that help you build up 4 different juice meters, and as you fill them up, you can combine them to craft different items. It's a little confusing at first, but you get the hang of it eventually. There's not a ton of logic behind the combination, so it's a little bit of trial and error to see what each one does. One disadvantage to this is that it gets rid of the helping hand in games like Mario Kart that gives better items to racers towards the back of the pack. This helps less experienced players keep up against more experienced players so everyone can enjoy the game. There's 5 different islands, 3 of them are unlocked from the start. Each island has 4 different tracks for a total of 20. In this world, there are giant anthropomorphic fruit everywhere, but regular fruit still exists. Do the evolved sentient fruit ever eat the regular fruit? If not, what do they eat? Animals? People? Thankfully, these are big questions that they do not explore in this game. There's a regular one-off custom race mode, a career mode where you make your way through each of the cups, championship modes, time attack, and training. The custom race and championship modes give you a handful of different race options. They're mostly slight variants of a regular race. One of them recharges your juice over time instead of needing to pick up pieces, but there's a cool burnout-style elimination mode that takes out the player in last place after a countdown. The game has 4-player split screen, which is always awesome to see in a racing game. You should have seen what I had to go through to get you this footage. There is online play, but there doesn't seem to be anyone playing. I also clicked the LAN option, but apparently nobody else in my house is playing this game. Weird. I love the character designs. Each of the racers has a specific fruit that they love way too much. There's 10 to start, with 12 more to unlock. I grew up with Mario Kart 64, so anything that has more than 8 racers to choose from seems amazing. They each have their own themed kart, or you can drive one of your own designs. As you play through the cups, you unlock decals and wheels that you can use on your custom karts. There's a lot of detail to the kart customization. I was really impressed by the number of designs. The level of detail reminds me of Rocket League, where you can really make your kart your own, and you unlock more options as you play. The audio in this game isn't great. I'll give them a break on the announcers. I'm guessing that it's one of the developer's kids, and it must be so cool to hear your voice immortalized in a video game. It's the rest of the sound effects that are pretty bare bones. It would be nice to hear the wheels knocking around on the wood, or digging through the snow, but instead you hear the constant buzz of the engine, strangely timed laughter, and the occasional item sound. The music isn't very memorable either. It's not awful, but it's not something you'll be humming for years. But maybe I'm wrong. If you're watching this in 2025 and have any of the songs stuck in your head, let me know in the comments. In racing games, there's this thing called rubber banding. If you're struggling, the AI racers ahead of you will slow down a little bit to give you a fighting chance. And if you're doing really well, the racers behind you won't be very far behind, keeping you on your toes. The AI in this game doesn't seem to have rubber banding, so there were a lot of races where after the first lap, the AI was so far behind I never saw them again for the rest of the race. There wasn't any threat, it was almost like I was by myself on the course. On the other hand, if you make a mistake and fall behind, it's pretty hard to catch up. Rubber banding evens the playing field and keeps the balance between frustration and boredom. Adding to this, there are too many laps on some of the courses in the career mode. 5 laps is just excessive, especially if the AI racers are 30 seconds behind you. You're just zipping through the course by yourself. There's no challenge and it gets boring. I'm not sure if these loading screen tips are talking about the game or giving me real nutritional advice. Loading times are a little on the long side, so at least it gives you some reading material. The frame rate isn't great, especially when you're making huge jumps that give you a wide view of the entire course, or if there's a lot of racers on the screen. It feels like it's below 30 frames per second most of the time, and it looks pretty choppy. It doesn't feel great, especially with more richly detailed games like Crash Team Racing, holding a steady frame rate at 30 frames per second. Or, of course, Mario Kart with its silky smooth 60 frames per second. I will cut it some slack for being an indie game that probably didn't have a huge budget. All-Star Fruit Racing retails for $19.99 in the US, but I got it for sale at just 99 cents. I don't recommend the game for $20, but if you're tired of Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing, and you're looking for something new, and your expectations are firmly in check, you can't go wrong for $1. I highly recommend checking out Deals. It's a price tracking site for Switch games. I'm always looking there to see what's on sale, and it's how I found this game. It's way more convenient than digging through the eShop. If you're curious about other games on the Switch, check out some of my other reviews. And if you want to catch my reviews for all platforms every single week, make sure to subscribe.